Marbella with Him and Her are proud to be sponsored by the friendliest bar in San Pedro, the Hogan Stand. The place for amazing food, live music and sport, karaoke, quizzes, and a welcoming smile. Why would you want to go anywhere else? Check out their Instagram page at the Hogan Stand and at the Hogan Hackers for their Golf Society.
This podcast may contain adult themes and strong language. Hello and welcome to episode 110. We haven't said the episode number for a while, but as it's a round number, I thought I'd say it. Of Marbella with Him and Her, brought to you by the Hogan Stand. He is
PJ Lopez and she is
Hannah Murray. Feeling hut.
ugly duck syndrome.
Bit rude.
Do you remember that? David Haye. He dug himself quite a big hole, didn't he?
That was terrible.
The more he said, the worse it got.
Yeah, I mean, to think it is one thing, to say it on national television is totally another.
He tried to sort of justify it. It's obviously his thinking.
And his experience.
Yeah, elements of it I got, but it was not a great thing to bring out. It just came across as a bit
arsehole.
A bit of a chauvinist.
Basically, for anyone who didn't see it, on I'm a Celebrity South Africa, David Haye, boxer, who is famous for being in a throuple, basically having two girlfriends at the same time, as in they're all in a relationship together, all sleeping together, each to their own.
Don't see any issue with that, to be fair.
So he was basically saying that ugly girls generally have better personalities than really pretty girls. So ugly girls have to try harder in order to sleep with a man because they're not particularly great to look at, whereas pretty girls have no issues sleeping with guys, getting into clubs for free because they're pretty, but they don't have much of a personality.
And he basically said this because one of his girls is apparently very pretty, but says that she acts like someone that's ugly in terms of her personality. So he's basically saying that what he considers as ugly girls, and I'm not even going to get into this because everybody is beautiful.
Of course.
Okay, so it's only in the eye of the beholder and what you consider as ugly. But basically he was saying that his girlfriend acts like she's ugly in terms of her personality.
It's just terrible, isn't it? It's awful.
Didn't go down very well.
No, it really
with anybody, men included.
Yeah, everybody was really, really shocked. I mean, it's one thing to say, in my experience, I've noticed this, but he was saying it like it was fact. He was basically saying ugly girls are much funnier and more personable, whereas pretty girls haven't got much chat.
Because they haven't got to try in life, because they get into club. This is an analogy. They can get into a club really easily because they're pretty. They get drinks bought for them because they're pretty. So they don't need to try in life. Therefore, they don't end up having much personality. So he's actually having a go at pretty girls as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The fact that he was saying it as if it was fact was horrendous. As I say, it's still an awful thing to say anyway, but if it was an observation that he'd noticed in his experience, that's one thing. It's still shocking, but he can say, I'm not saying that's a thing. It's just what I've noticed in my experience. But he was saying it as fact, which is horrendous.
Darling, you've got a great personality.
So have you. So a couple of interviews to mention from this week on my radio show. I chatted, not for the first time, to the fabulous Marty Wilde. He's 87.
And a teenager in love.
Oh, he's amazing. He's just brought out a new album. He's been touring ever since he first started in the late 50s. I asked him what it was like singing Teenager in Love in his 80s. And he said, he loves it. He said, obviously, his voice and his looks isn't the same as when he first did the song, but the audience love it so much and it makes them smile. It's just a wonderful atmosphere. So his new album is called Let's Rock This Place. And he was trying to bring back the vibes of rock and roll from the 50s.
I don't think it'll ever go. There is a select audience of all ages that love rock and roll.
Definitely.
You've got, I see on YouTube and TikTok and stuff, you've got young people dancing rock and roll.
Well, we were talking about that. I asked him what he thought of modern music because he said he listens to all types of music. He's just obsessed with music. Music is his life. He's a really prolific songwriter, both for himself and for other people throughout the years, including Tom Jones and Snow Patrol and, some really big names. He said there's a place for every type of music, but he questioned how much of today's music people would be listening to in 50 years' time.
We've heard that a lot. I think you've done a few interviews that have a similar sort of thing, whether music that we hear now is going to live as long as some of the old genres.
It's interesting.
I think there will be. I think Taylor Swift will be, and Ed Sheeran and people like that, possibly.
Adele, maybe. One Direction.
Adele, to be honest.
Exactly. No, but it's interesting to try and understand which ones will and why.
Well, I think only superstar status. I know he wasn't.
But that's
superstar
One Direction.
Status, yeah, but he wasn't superstar status. But yet people still recognise that song because I think that genre was collectively superstar status.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's when people for the first time could start to listen to mainstream music. They could hear it on the radio. They could buy records, So going back sort of generations, you couldn't do that unless you were very wealthy and you could own what's the thing called with the horn?
HMV.
Yeah, but what's the thing called?
Gramophone.
Gramophone, okay. That's it. I mean, it was a different era. It's a lot different now. A lot of music's online. People don't buy physical record CDs or anything like that. So I think with that comes the ability for a lot of people to make music, which often isn't great, but you can sing along to and tap along to and dance to for a while, but it will never live forever.
He's such a lovely man. We had a lovely chat. So his new album, the single, is the same title as a song, Let's Rock This Place. And it's actually a rewriting that he did of a song that he wrote for his daughter Kim Wilde, who had loads of hits in the 80s and 90s.
So I was going to say that if people didn't know Marty Wilde, then his daughter Kim Wilde, you'll probably know. Then I'm sitting there thinking, there's a lot of you out there listening to this podcast that probably won't even know who Kim Wilde
might not know either. Yeah, there you go.
She was in the 80s.
That ages us, yeah. So she had a hit in the 80s called Rage to Love. And this song, Let's Rock This Place, is a rewriting of that with different lyrics, basically. And
wasn't she French Kissing in the USA
That was also her, yes. So there we are. Well, I also caught up with Franck Benhamou, who's a local guy. I've interviewed him a few times over the years. He does amazing challenges to really push himself. It's all for the bigger picture and asking the bigger question, why don't people push themselves? People moan about their lives, their relationships, their jobs, but they don't do anything about it. And he, always wants to challenge the norm kind of thing.
Push the boundaries.
So last year he walked 6,000 kilometres across Europe. This year, in a few days' time, I think, he's going to cycle 3,200 kilometres around the coast of France.
Wow. Can I say, yesterday seemed like we walked around Europe. But we went shopping at MacArthur Glen.
Out for like 9 hours. Yeah, it's not quite the same. But one of the things that he's doing, which really sparked my interest, and I know will yours too, along the way, and he's going to be documenting this on his Instagram, he's going to be sampling 100 local food and drink products around the coast of France.
Oh, I might join him. What's his number?
Exactly. You have me at food. So if you want to follow him on Instagram, he's frankly.speaking, but he spells Frank the French way because he is actually French. So it's FRANCKLY.speaking. So definitely check him out. I also was very excited to be speaking to Dean Franklin on Wednesday, who was the winner of last year's Apprentice. It was the final on Thursday night, so I had the pleasure of speaking to last year's winner the day before. And it all happened quite quickly. On Monday, I'd had a cancellation for Wednesday's show, and I'd been scrolling through my Instagram and saw one of the guys from The Apprentice, and I thought, who won it last year? I couldn't remember who it was. And then I came across Dean and was like, oh yeah, he was great. An Essex lad, he had an air conditioning business, and I saw his Instagram, and there were loads of photos and videos of him, his wife and kids in the clubhouse, and they were basically in Marbella literally days before. And I thought, that's cool, maybe it'll be easy to get him on. So I saw his management details on his Instagram, went on to his manager's Insta and saw that loads of the girls, the ladies from the Sisterhood, the India trip I went on, all followed him and were obviously friends with him. So I sent him an email. He replied straight away, copying Dean in, and Dean was like, yeah, I'd love to. I was only in Marbella a couple of days ago. So it was great how easy it was to all happen.
Yeah, and such good timing as well, considering that it was the final, which
exactly.
was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, great radio to get him on the day before the final. Just talking about his air conditioning business, I said, not wishing to be rude, but is there a massive need for air conditioning in the UK, considering the temperature? And he said, well, more than you'd think, actually, but also his systems also do heating.
Well, a lot of them do here as well. You get hot or cold air.
And they also purify the air and various. No, it It sounded really impressive. But I said a lot of people have built-in air-conditioned units in Spain, but they don't use it because it's too expensive. You really see the bills going up. And he said that it really depends on the unit and the system, because he said his air conditioning is cheaper than boiler heating in the UK.
That's crazy.
Which is really good. And I was like, oh, you need to bring it to Spain. He's like, I'd love to. So you never know. Watch this space. So yeah, the Apprentice final was between Pasha and Karishma, two amazingly talented and confident women.
Yeah, really good to watch, because sometimes you get one that's far, far ahead of the other, even though they've got to the final. It was very close this time. We couldn't call it right till the end. Right until he actually said the words, we had no idea who'd won.
It was really good. They were both brilliant. And Karishma had the edge. Pasha was confident and intelligent and everything
and
else.
Only 21 years, so the youngest finalist ever.
But Karishma was really funny as well. She kept making jokes in her presentation, which was really good, which everybody loved. There was loads of industry experts that you have to present to. And Karishma's thing is skincare. She had really severe acne when she was growing up. And she said, it's such an honour to be in a room with all these amazing industry experts. Thank you so much. Some of you have been part of my skincare journey. Your products didn't work particularly well, though, which is why I've started my own company, which was hilarious.
Yeah, I think they all found that brilliant.
That could have been so offensive, but they loved her for it. It was just amazing.
Again, so apt, because the weekend before, which we mentioned on last week's podcast, as we were watching the youth entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So it all sort of tied in. That whole week tied in together, didn't it, with your interview with what we watched.
And this Karishma, she's a bioscientist as well. She's going into labs. She knows what ingredients go with what and what they all do. So, yeah, I think the world's her oyster. She's already got about 250,000 followers on Instagram even before the show started.
Yeah,
so
she's very good at a lot of things that she does, from social media right the way through to the business.
Really exciting to see what happens with that. So
we
done.
Also wish Pasha luck. She had a great concept. She's a recruitment specialist, and she wants to change the way that the care industry approach that type of work. So yeah, good luck to her.
Definitely. So we had a play reading this week with ITS. We did a well-known British sitcom set during the war. And basically you say that you're happy to read and you get given a part, and then everybody sits there reading through it. And it was great fun. I've got a photograph of our friend Bev, who was one of the organisers, with her husband Jamie, up a ladder holding a fake, obviously, rifle.
Yes, I mean, that was my part, but I couldn't get up there, read and look at the script at the same time.
So she did it on your behalf.
Yes.
Very kind.
I sent her up the ladder.
With a rifle.
With a rifle.
We had some lovely pizza as well. This was at Atalaya Golf and Country Club, which is where the choir takes place, and also where my dad lives. I got my nails done this week, and I've gone multicoloured because I felt like it was time, with the sun being out. And it was a really fun women talk this week. We had Mary, Sandra and Lenny on, and I got a photo of them as the three monkeys, because they were all sitting quite close together on the sofa going through the articles. And I said, you could do the three monkeys. And they said, we were just saying that. They'd already talked about it. So they did the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. And I got a photo of them all. And we had lots of fun chatting about all kinds of subjects.
Did you talk about the ugly duck syndrome?
No, we didn't. No, I did talk about it on Hump Day Happenings, though.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I knew that was coming. Quiz night on Thursday, my wild card round didn't go down particularly well.
No.
It was International Mushroom Day.
Which you like and love mushrooms.
I still wouldn't have got them all, though. I don't think I would have remembered the name of enoki.
Enoki?
Yeah, that was the last one, the really thin.
Oh, yeah, that's how mushrooms. Much that went in.
So yes, it was all about mushrooms, 5 different types of mushrooms. And
don't ever do that again.
Fair enough. On Friday, we mentioned it the week before, Friday was 4 years since my mum died. And I woke up and we had a little chat and stuff, and I was going to meet Dad, and I said to you, I haven't cried. And you're like, that's okay, that's fine. And I met my dad and we were chatting, and I was like, I haven't cried. And he said, well, that's okay. And then we started talking about mum, and then I cried.
Yeah, of course you would. I mean, when you start talking more in depth, I'm sure you would.
Exactly.
But you did very well. And I still can't believe it's 4 years. I think we mentioned that before.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. And people always say, it gets easier. And in one way it does, because I definitely cry less than I did when it first happened and after a year. But it's also in a way harder, because it's that much longer since I saw her and hugged her and spoke to her and asked her advice.
Yeah.
And throughout my life, she's been obviously before you, she's been my consistent. She's been the person that I go to and tell everything to. And I was saying to you and Dad the other day when I got a bit upset, I was like, her dying is the biggest thing that's ever happened in my life, like the most shocking thing. And I haven't been able to discuss it with her. And that's so weird to get your head round. I'm like, Mum, you won't believe what's happened. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so, so strange. Anyway, my heart goes out to anyone who has recently lost someone, especially their mums, because it's shit.
So where did you have your brunch?
We went to Kalima, where you and I have been going, because Dad hadn't been there before.
Yeah, and?
Lovely. Really, really nice. I mean, the perfect setting, isn't it? Right on the beach in San Pedro.
And while you were there, I made myself brunch.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I made avocado, poached eggs on toast. Lovely.
I mean, that's my fave.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And Dad and I had a little walk as well along the Paseo, which was really nice. I came back, did some sunbathing. I seriously caught the sun. It was gorgeous.
When you say caught the sun, you went bright red. You were joking last week about the colour of your new leggings that are bright pink. That was you.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that bad.
Like, if you had them on, you would have looked naked.
Oh, stop it. It's not true. We've been learning lines this weekend, and I want to mention again, if you haven't got your tickets for Ladies' Day, you won't be disappointed. It's really fun. It's a really, really fun show about working class women up north packing fish in a factory who somehow get to go to Ladies' Day because it goes to York one year. So they all dress up and PJ's a jockey.
Yes, enough said.
For people to get their tickets, go to internationaltheatrestudio.org.
I went to a new place on Friday with some colleagues from work.
Yeah.
I went to Seoul at the paddle club in San Pedro.
Yeah.
What a lovely setting.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there was a tournament, I think, that had been going on, so there were a lot of people there.
You say a new place. You've been there before.
Yeah, but not for an evening sort of drink session. So, yeah, I sat inside because it was quite noisy outside because they have a DJ and obviously wanted to chat, so we couldn't really hear a lot outside. So I sat inside. Got to say, the sweet potato fries, oh my God.
Yeah.
Really good. And wasn't sure what to have because it said they had a sharing menu. And I thought, oh, okay, get some nachos, but I didn't have anything like that. So they had chicken fingers, which was strange. I didn't know chicken had fingers, but anyway.
Yes, quite.
But they were really nice.
Yeah.
And they had a spicy mayonnaise dip. I think it's mayonnaise mixed with sriracha. But that was very good. So, yeah, I had that and drank Tinto Verano. So, yeah, nice setting, actually.
Lovely.
And especially in the summer, it's great because you can sit outside. And I said there's music. It's not heavy music. It's just house music playing. But
yeah, we've always said we wanted to go, haven't we? Because we hear it when we're at home. We hear it, the music on a Friday night. And it sounds like it's a bit of a vibe.
It was a nice vibe. And then after that, we took a walk down, because we were halfway to the beach anyway, it's only 2 minutes to the beach, walked down to our wedding venue, Alabadero. And actually, I've never drunk in the bar section there. So I sat in the bar and carried on drinking a few Tinto de Verados. It wasn't quite as warm as I was hoping it was because we're down by the sea, so it did get a little bit chilly. We're not quite summer yet. It's weird because it's very, very warm during the day. And at night it can still get chilly.
Yeah,
and then you joined
particularly
us.
by the sea. Yeah, well, I'd been out with my friend Audrey. We met at Hogan's Happy Hour and we decided to do Tinto de Veranos as well, which was really nice. Nice summery drink. Tinto Verano basically means red summer. It's red wine mixed with casera normally, which is a much healthier version of lemonade. There's a lot less sugar in it. Or they do it with lemon Fanta. So depending on your preference, but I like it with casera. You're still getting alcohol, but not as much as if you were just drinking wine.
And it's refreshing.
Yeah, really refreshing because it's with ice and lemon and things. So really enjoyed that. We also went to have a drink at Boulia Bar, which we've been talking about for a while. This is the place on the corner that's a coffee shop during the day and really comes alive at night, right near the main roundabout.
Yeah, I
San
think at the
Pedro.
weekends, not sure about a Saturday, but definitely on a Friday night, every time I've gone out with friends or whatever into town, go past that and it's absolutely heaving with live music.
Yeah.
Spanish live music.
Yeah, there was Spanish live music. It was really fun, really nice. We walked round the corner to Barguera and had a little bit of food there, a bit of tapas.
One of our faves, that, isn't it?
Yeah, we love it. And then on to La Casita, also one of our faves. And
You went to La Casita? You didn't tell me that.
I did. We had their truffle parmesan fries.
Oh, yes, you did mention it. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, that if you don't like meat, because you were a bit worried that Audrey's vegetarian, and they do, I mean, their meatballs are amazing. I think we've mentioned that before. But they do an amazing tuna tartare. Absolutely gorgeous. And it's quite big as well. I mean, their prices, I think their portions and prices are very good there.
Definitely. Yesterday, we had an epic day. We didn't have any plans for yesterday other than learning lines, which we still spent some time doing. But we decided to go to IKEA and MacArthur Glen. MacArthur Glen is a designer outlet in Malaga, very close to
Part of
IKEA.
Plaza Mayor, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And we went because there's various things that we need, and had a very successful trip. We've got 2 weddings coming up this year, one in June.
Hopefully no funerals.
Oh, God, don't spoil it. One in June and one in October. And I got a dress for both. I got a really nice orange summery dress for the one in June, and then a thicker dark green dress for the one...
Olive green? Would you say it's olive green?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Jade green, olive green, I'm not really sure.
It's green.
Dark green. And I got I'm obsessed with red. I got a gorgeous red beach bag from Villa Vaquerin.
Yes, we sort of stood outside the shop discussing it for a while.
Moving money around, trying to make it work.
Well, to be fair, you won €120 on a bet.
Yes.
And you'd actually used it to buy petrol and stuff. So I just said that was meant to be like your winnings rather than your everyday stuff. So we moved money backward and forward again to make sure that you had that as your winnings, which was nice.
And you got a really nice linen shirt, which is also orange.
Yes, we're not going to wear them at the same time. They're for different days of the wedding, because it's quite a big wedding. There's a barbecue day and then there's the actual wedding. So we need to have outfits for both.
Yeah. Looking forward to that very much. And we got some stuff in IKEA as well. A new chest of drawers for the spare room where you put your clothes in. It's broken, isn't it?
Well, it's actually the same chest of drawers that's in here, but the problem with this one is it's falling apart.
Yeah.
I think it was yours when you lived somewhere else many years ago.
Yeah.
So, yes, I've got my own chest of drawers now, nice and new.
And we were going for a Billy bookcase, but we ended up getting a Kallax, which is just slightly bigger, isn't it?
It's a bit deeper.
And that's to put all my vintage stuff in, basically.
Yeah, well, it's taking over the spare bedroom, that's why.
So that's good. I got some new vases, love a vase.
Yeah.
They're so cheap, it's ridiculous.
You don't have to buy because things are cheap.
I know, but I
bought a nice candle because that was cheap.
Yeah, there you go, see. But I wanted to mention the salad that we went for. We were really hungry, so we went for lunch, in inverted commas, at like 5 o'clock, and then ended up not having dinner. So we didn't eat much yesterday, but it was fine. We had these Caesar salads in one of the many restaurants in the food court.
Can I just mention this restaurant was quite bizarre? I can't even remember what it's called now, but it was a Mexican, Indian and Italian. I mean, it's 3 things in one.
Yeah.
And some of the food crossed over into each menu, which was really, really bizarre. And I want to know what the definition of a restaurant is. Well, to me, if you go to a restaurant, you expect your food to be made to order. You expect, if you get chicken, especially a Caesar salad, for it to be like a grilled piece of chicken that they've made and that they then chop up and is warm. I don't think this was. I think this was all packet stuff.
Oh, 100%.
That they chopped up or pre-chopped up,
They were
whatever.
tiny little pieces of chicken that had like marinade round the side, and it looked exactly like the one you get in Mercadona in a packet that you chuck in a salad, you know.
And that, to me, is not a all you're doing is putting together stuff that's already been cooked elsewhere. I don't think you can call yourself a restaurant.
No.
You know,
and I don't think they can call that a Caesar salad. The dressing that was on top wasn't a Caesar dressing.
No.
It was some kind of yoghurt herby dressing.
Which was probably out of a bottle as well.
Oh, definitely it was. And there was no parmesan on it.
No. So, again, the use of classic dishes is not right.
No.
You know, they were an Italian part of the restaurant and they did pizzas and stuff like that. But come on. I mean, wow, a salad. Put it together fresh. It's a minimum you expect when you go out and pay for a restaurant meal.
Definitely. I was surprised how cheap it was, but then when it arrived, that made sense. It was only like $11.95, which is pretty good for a salad.
I think it had a half a tub of salad in there.
It was massive. The bowls were massive. They were definitely for sharing. We easily could have had one between us.
But yeah, I just said...
Very disappointing.
Yes.
A couple of upcoming events that I wanted to mention. There is a Women's Warrior Walk on the 9th and 10th of May. They're obviously doing a bit each day. Walking from El Paraiso to Gibraltar.
Debbie's doing that.
I know.
And so Charlotte.
Yeah, Debbie sent me the poster and asked if we could mention it. 63 kilometres is the route, and it's to raise funds to cure DHDDS, which which is a very rare disease that affects children. It's a small charity that's been set up in order to fund life-changing research. So it's obviously a really good cause. So if you want to get involved with the walk, there's about 30 or so women that are going to be doing it. If you're not able to do the walk, then of course you can donate. Every little helps, as they say. The website is curedhds.org. So good luck to Debbie and Charlotte and everyone else who does it. I'd love to do it, but it's the weekend of Ladies' Day, so...
And I've got to say, charities, we very, very much support doing local charities because they're usually the ones that are really in need of funds. And the fact that you can see directly where that money's going and the difference it makes. I don't know if we mentioned last week, but Collective Calling came into Manifesto. So Manifesto are partnered with Collective Calling now. So they do monthly stuff with them. And we're going to be apparently we're going to be going out as well, some of us from the office, and helping with the shower thing that they've got and all that sort of stuff. So we're actually going to get actively involved in it.
Brilliant.
And they have these big sort of gala dinners and everything, which they auction stuff off. And a couple of our friends, Frank and Steph, so kind of them, they had this amazing pair of shorts that have been autographed by Mike Tyson and Cassius Clay, which are incredible.
And it's all framed.
Yeah, it's all framed and it's been picked up at another auction that I think that Anthea Turner had done with somebody before.
Yeah.
So what a magnificent thing to give away. And just as we finished the meeting with Collective Calling, you texted me and to say, oh yeah, they're really happy to give that away. So that hopefully going to be auctioned off at their next big gala dinner and get quite a lot of money for it because it's a once in a lifetime sort of thing that you can buy. I mean, Cassius Clay, wow.
It's a really cool thing. And it was so lovely. It brought a tear to my eye. It was a couple of days before it was the 4-year anniversary of Mum's passing. And Steph messaged me saying that she wanted to give this to us or give it to charity via us, wanted me to nominate the charity on behalf of my mum, which was so lovely.
Lovely. Really, really nice.
Really, really kind. So that's exciting.
So we've always spoken about restaurants open and close. So a couple of pieces of news. Very sad one. Benisti is no more, which was one of our favourite restaurants. So Benisti was the son and daughter of Simone, that's part of Albert and Simone. So they're all sort of connected. And yeah, we've been there a lot of times and really enjoyed it.
It's one of our favourites.
Yeah, because it's upmarket food. It's really nicely presented. You know, really kind in there. They know their stuff. They're obviously from a restaurant family. And I think ever since COVID, it never really recovered, did it? So it's they've tried lots of different things. They've tried lots of different menus. They've tried opening during the day. They've tried tapas menu. It just never took off again, which is really sad. So they're closed. Something's going on in there. So something else will be opening. And the taco place is closed.
Surprise, surprise.
I don't think we ever went for tacos there.
No, and we love tacos, but there was just a guy that stood in the doorway with his arms folded.
Yeah, it was
looking
just
slightly intimidating.
The most bizarre place. We didn't even know it had opened. We walked past and I said, there's a taco place. And that's it. There was no advertising, no leaflets.
No social media.
No social media. So yeah, how was anybody meant to know about this place? And they stood there expecting people to go in. And every time we went past, not one person in there.
No, very weird. Another thing coming up I wanted to mention and promote is the Malaga Book Fair. Now, I'd really like to go to this. I want to see what day that Irvin Walsh is going to be there, the author of Train Spotting.
Well, surely you'll be interviewing some of the authors now.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm definitely going to get in touch with him. So it's quite a long run. It starts on April the 30th until May the 10th. So I guess there's different people and different things happening each day. It's at the Paseo del Parque, which is in the marina area of Malaga, and it is free.
Free?
Yep.
Amazing. Nothing's free this.
Exactly. So definitely check it out, Malaga Book Fair, to find details of who's doing what each day, and I shall do the same. Just a few pieces from the Euro Weekly News to mention. The Spanish government are about to offer big grants for renovating homes, up to €50,000 per dwelling.
Do you know, I'm really nervous on when the government does anything or grants. I remember again going through COVID and the amount of people now that are still trying to pay back. So anyone that was autonomo, somehow, or not anyone because we weren't entitled to it, but some people that were autonomo were able to get some type of help during that time because they weren't able to invoice anybody because a lot of them couldn't do work because they weren't allowed to. So the government said, oh yeah, there's some, I can't remember what they called it. It had a name, didn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember, sorry.
But anyway, whatever it was, they want it back. And I think
they've just taken it from people's bank account.
And people thought, well, I thought this was help during COVID. So yeah, it was help, but you have to pay it back. And they had no idea. So like people are getting like 15, 20,000 euros taken out of their account or embargoed, which was awful. So when you say there's a 50,000 grant, I get nervous.
Yeah.
So
Ask
do
all
look
the
at all the
questions.
small print.
Definitely, my goodness. Petrol station strikes are coming up. This is to do with wages, people striking because of not earning enough money. So there are specific dates and times where you may not be able to get petrol. So definitely make a note of this and be very aware. I'm sure there'll be signs and more information nearer the time. But April the 30th, from 12 p.m. until 4 a.m. So that's most of the day on April the 30th. And again on May the 3rd for 24 hours.
Wow. I wonder if the one that we go to in San Pedro will be affected because there's no staff there. It's help yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless it incorporates people that deliver the petrol, which case it might not have any, but I don't think they'll run out in a day.
Yeah.
Well, they will do if that's the only place you go to.
So, yeah, nothing to freak out about, but make a note of the dates and times and just make sure that you've got petrol a few days before so you don't need to worry about it, I suppose. And one other thing that I thought was absolutely fascinating, the average property listing in Spain receives how many inquiries, would you think?
Ooh.
This is obviously average. The average property listing in Spain receives how many inquiries?
5.
41.
Really?
I was absolutely shocked.
Where's this data from?
The Euro Weekly News.
Must be right then.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, isn't that unbelievable?
That is.
I would have thought it's a lot less than that, but I suppose it depends where which is why it's average. You know, some properties will only get 1 or 2 viewings and then they'll be bought, you know.
To be fair, there's a great shortage of properties for sale. A massive shortage. And the demand for buying is much, much higher than the properties, which is why prices are still high and going up. So, yeah, it's a real issue.
Fascinating statistic, though.
Very fascinating. Thank you for our statistic of the week, Hannah.
Okay. No update on Hannah's hormones this week?
No, I think you've been fairly average in your approach to the week.
I'm not average.
You were this week. There was...
Normal I could just about cope with, but average is rude.
Look, just go with the fact that you're really funny and a great sense of humour, and we'll leave it at that.
Oh, I wish I could say the same about you. Have a great week. It is goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from her. Ow!
He just slapped himself. You can't do that.